Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Big Little Lies, Liane Moriarty. Introduction. Liane Moriarty's Big Little Lies is a captivating mix of mystery, drama, and social commentary, revealing the hidden lives of seemingly perfect women living in a wealthy coastal town. At the core of the story are three women, Madeline, Celeste, and Jane, each with their own personal struggles, secrets, and battles. Moriarty weaves these individual stories together through a suspenseful narrative that keeps the reader guessing about what's really going on in this perfect community. The novel centers around an incident at a school trivia night that leaves one person dead, setting off a chain of events that forces each of the main characters to confront the truths they've been hiding. As the story unfolds, we learn about their histories, secrets, and the complicated relationships that bind them. It raises questions about domestic violence, motherhood, friendship, and the lengths people will go to protect themselves and their loved ones. Part 1. The Women of Monterey. The novel introduces the small, affluent community of Monterey, California, where the residents live seemingly perfect lives. However, under the glossy surface, these women are struggling with personal demons. The three main characters, Madeline, Celeste, and Jane, are at different points in their lives, each facing challenges that shape their interactions with others. Madeline Mackenzie. A bold, passionate woman in her early 40s, Madeline is fiercely protective of her friends and children. Her life, however, is complicated by the fact that she is constantly at odds with her ex-husband Nathan and his new wife, Bonnie. The presence of Nathan and Bonnie in her life is a constant source of tension, particularly when their daughter is enrolled in the same school as Madeline's youngest daughter. Madeline's ongoing battles with her ex-husband and the challenges of raising her children with her second husband Ed make her seem strong on the outside, but she is hiding her own vulnerabilities. Celeste Wright. Celeste appears to have it all: a successful lawyer, a beautiful home, and a seemingly perfect marriage to Perry Wright, a charming and wealthy man. However, her marriage is far from perfect. Behind closed doors, Celeste is trapped in an abusive relationship. Her husband, Perry, is violent and controlling, but Celeste's struggle to leave him is compounded by feelings of guilt and fear. She finds it difficult to break free from the bonds of a toxic relationship, which has been draining her emotionally and mentally for years. As she grapples with her feelings of guilt and shame, she begins to question how she can escape the web of control and abuse that Perry has woven around her. Jane Chapman. The newest arrival in Monterey, Jane is a single mother with a painful past. She moves to Monterey with her son Ziggy, seeking a fresh start and hoping to escape the traumatic events that have haunted her for years. Jane's struggles are more internal, and she works hard to keep her son, Ziggy, out of trouble. However, her life takes a turn when Ziggy is accused of bullying another child at school. This accusation leads Jane into the heart of the school's social world, where she must navigate the tensions between the school's parents and the complicated relationships between the women. As their lives intersect, these three women form a bond of friendship, even though each of them is dealing with their own hidden trauma and secrets. Part 2. A Murder at the Trivia Night. At the center of Big Little Lies is the event that sets everything in motion: the trivia night at Pirawee Public School. A seemingly innocuous school event turns deadly, with someone ending up dead by the end of the evening. Moriarty skillfully sets up the mystery, keeping readers on edge as they try to figure out who the victim is and who is responsible. The story unfolds through a series of interviews with the parents who were at the trivia night. The interviews reveal a tangled web of alliances, rivalries, and grudges, all of which culminate in the shocking murder. The book's structure alternates between the present-day investigation and flashbacks to the events leading up to the trivia night. The mystery of the victim. Who dies at the trivia night? And what led up to the death? At first, the identity of the victim is kept a secret, and the interviews with the parents hint at various conflicts among the school's parents. The tension between the school moms, especially between Madeline and Renata Klein, a career-driven woman whose daughter is the target of bullying accusations, is palpable. Renata's career and her reputation are everything to her, and she won't let anything stand in her way. She views Madeline's involvement in the situation as a threat and as someone who is trying to tear her down. This tension ultimately creates an explosive atmosphere. The school's social scene, the trivia night, is also a microcosm of the larger social dynamics at play in Monterey. It's a place where parents compete with each other for status and power, and small disagreements quickly escalate into personal vendettas. These power struggles take on greater significance as the story unfolds and the investigation continues. Part 3. The Dark Truths Behind the Lies. As the narrative moves forward, Moriarty reveals the deep secrets that each of the central women is hiding. The tension between the characters continues to build, leading to shocking revelations that change everything. Celeste's struggle with abuse. As the story progresses, we learn more about Celeste's abusive marriage. While on the outside, her life seems perfect, the reality is that Perry's violent outbursts have taken a heavy toll on her. Celeste is emotionally torn. She loves Perry, but she is terrified of him. Her internal struggle is heartbreaking, as she knows she needs to leave him for the sake of her children but is paralyzed by fear and the trauma of his abuse. She begins to confide in her therapist and finally admits that she cannot continue living in the relationship. However, leaving Perry proves to be far more complicated than she ever imagined. Jane's trauma. Jane's history comes into focus as she tries to piece together the past she's been running from. She was sexually assaulted years ago by a man named Saxon Banks, and her experience has left deep emotional scars. When she discovers that Perry's real name is Saxon Banks, she is horrified to realize that her attacker is also Ziggy's father. This revelation forces Jane to confront her past trauma while trying to protect her son, Ziggy, from the legacy of his father. Her journey toward healing is difficult, but ultimately it leads to the truth about what happened to her, and what that means for her future. Madeline's family struggles. Madeline's own personal battles are also explored in the novel. Her relationship with her ex-husband Nathan is fraught with tension, and her relationship with her daughter Abigail is strained. Abigail has grown up and is now pushing back against her mother's control, which makes Madeline feel both rejected and protective. These family struggles add complexity to Madeline's character, revealing her vulnerability and her intense need to maintain control over her world. Part 4. The Explosive Ending. The suspense builds to an explosive conclusion at the trivia night, where long-buried truths come to the surface. Perry's violent behavior is revealed to all, and he becomes a direct threat to the women. In a moment of collective action, Bonnie, who has her own history of domestic violence, pushes Perry off a balcony, leading to his death. The women's decision. Faced with the consequences of this dramatic act, the women make a powerful and difficult decision to protect Bonnie. They agree to keep quiet and support each other, ensuring that Bonnie is never held responsible for Perry's death. The police rule the death an accident, and the women stand united, their bond stronger than ever. This decision proves to be a turning point for each of them, as they finally break free from the oppressive forces in their lives. Justice and closure. For Celeste, this moment marks the end of her abusive marriage and the beginning of her healing journey. Jane finds closure in confronting her past and moving forward, while Madeline begins to understand the value of her relationships and her place in the world. The women's bond proves unbreakable, and they share a deep sense of solidarity in the face of the challenges they have faced together. Conclusion. What's the real cost of secrets? In Big Little Lies, Liane Moriarty shows us how secrets can tear people apart, but also how facing the truth can set us free. The story raises thought-provoking questions about the nature of secrets and the cost of keeping them hidden. Can we ever really know what's happening behind closed doors? How far would you go to protect a friend or loved one? Is it possible to forgive someone for their actions, even when the consequences are devastating? And in the end, is telling the truth always the right choice, or is it sometimes better to let go of the past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in their situation? Would you have made the same decisions to protect your friends? How do you think the story would have ended differently if the women had chosen not to cover up the truth? That's it for today's 10 Minutes Gold Mine. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep mining for more golden knowledge. See you in the next one.